Straight Shootin LJA here. You know what, yeah, let me adjust my hat just a touch, make myself look good. But yeah, welcome to another episode of the Straight Shootin Rants. And as much as I joked just now at the start of this, what I want to talk about today is no laughing matter. And speaking of matter, Black Lives Matter. Now, I've had a vlog post about Black Lives Matter sometimes, and as much as the movement gained a lot of attention and momentum in the beginning, just over a month later, this is early July now, so it's one of them where it's like, it's July 7th now, George Floyd was murdered on May 25th, so to see how much momentum and steam that the movement has picked up has been interesting. But I actually read a really interesting opinion piece that my partner sent me from The Guardian, and it was basically talking about something that I very much agree with, and something that I did say on one of my other vlog posts, where it's a case of fighting for justice is not an overnight process. And I specifically mentioned the Grenfell Tower tragedy, which has now been 3 years, no justice, and also Hillsborough, which has been 31 years, no justice. So it's one of them where you look at those two and you look at the Black Lives Matter as a concept, not a hijacked hashtag, the concept of Black Lives Mattering. There have been a lot of misunderstandings, and a lot of closet racists have come out of the woodwork and, for lack of a better term, and somewhat ironically, come out of the closet in terms of racist views, opinions. And a lot of people have lost their jobs. But one thing as well is a lot of entities have jumped on bandwagons, and a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon as well. I love the show BoJack Horseman, but because of this, you've had Alison Brie, who some of you may remember from the hit show Community. Love that show, not crazy about season 6. But her voicing Diane Nguyen, who is supposed to be of Vietnamese heritage and origin, her being a white woman and voicing that, she's recently come out and said, I feel a bit bad about it, I feel a bit guilty about it. And it's like, well, you're only saying something now after the show's done its 5 seasons and Netflix have cancelled it, and it's one of them where it's like, but animation for me is kind of a different one anyway, just because obviously you're casting voices, you're not casting visuals. Just look at H. John Benjamin and the Archer character he voices, so it's one of them, bit of a different one there. But having heard Tom Cruise come out and apologise for, I think he was doing The Last Samurai, I think Tom Hanks did The Last Mohican and all that. And it's like, I mean, whitewashing in Hollywood has gone on for decades. I think it was Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra. And it's like, as Paul Mooney said, nah, that doesn't fit. And that was years ago. I think it was in like 2002, maybe even earlier, that Paul Mooney was talking about that, and it's now 2020. So Hollywood hasn't changed, and it won't change unless we all decide to boycott Hollywood. And so many people won't, that it probably won't change. But the fact is, it's one of them where you look at the Premier League coming out with, Black Lives Matter on the back of shirts, and also they've now got it on the shoulders and they've taken it off the back of shirts as well. It's like, it's one of them where I always felt it was a token gesture. See my Instagram, my Instagram page, Liam_LJA_Angel with 2 L's. And I did say that, yeah, wearing Black Lives Matter on the back of shirts and on sleeves is all good. But if the Premier League was serious about anti-racism and anti-prejudice, then they'd have more suitable and draconian punishments for racism and racist behaviour, and also better representation and diversity at the top levels of the game. And we had a lot of pitch talk discussions about the Premier League and their responses to racism, same with UEFA, FIFA, and also the FA, including discussing about the FA Council at that point as well. So I'll put links to this stuff in the description below. But for me, it's one of them ones where it's like real change takes time. And as I said in one of my other vlogs, real change doesn't happen overnight. And instead of token gestures and people and support dwindling after only a month, people need to continually be on this. They need to be on this. And we all need to be on this. Because at the end of the day, the Black Lives Matter, it as a concept, is not about Black Lives Mattering more. It's about us being given a fair shake. And for me, that is the fact. That is the bottom line, as Stone Cold would say. We are looking for equality, not priority. And for me, that is a key phrase. Listen to me again, please. Black people we are looking for equality, not priority. So those who have an issue with Black Lives Matter, you got to really look at who they are, what they stand for, and what they believe in, and who they believe in as well. Because all of these celebrities all of a sudden coming out of the woodwork and taking the knee and posting pictures onto their social media profiles and doing all that stuff, it's like, it's all well and good to raise awareness for that, a flicker of a second, but it takes a lot more hard work and a lot more dedication to change a system. And for me, the ants are more powerful than the elephant, but the ants have to be together and unified to take down that giant elephant. And at the end of the day, as good as it's been to see everyone and a lot of people come together, there have been a lot of the cretins. Look at Tommy Robinson and his band of morons that seem to be multiplying. And they seem to be multiplying like the parasites that they are. But the fact is, it's one of them where this stuff is going to take a lot of work, and people have to be willing to dig in for the long haul. And if you are truly about equality, then you will stand with us, not just for us, but with us. Because as an old saying goes, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And as I've said before on a video blog as well, if one person can get shafted over, don't think they can't do it to everyone. So that's where my angle comes from. So it's one of them where buckle up, we got to be in it for the long haul. And also as well, we can't let this get pigeonholed to just a minority, because the phrase BAME, black and minority ethnic, is a really easy way of pigeonholing everyone and making everybody look like they're part of the same struggle. And really and truly we're not. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you look at black and minority ethnic, that obviously includes Asians, Orientals, it includes a lot. But it's one of them where the struggles are not the same. The struggles really are not the same, so you can't lump everyone into one category, no matter how easy it is to do so. So it's one of them ones where people bunching everyone into the same category is actually, in my view, counterproductive. I mean, if let's take an example. If, say, a group of Asian lads is walking down the road, let's say 3 or 4 of them, for argument's sake, and they're walking down the road as a group, and I'm walking down a road on my own, and let's say this is at night. Most people, and I don't think this is jumping to conclusions at all or making wild assumptions, if they're all dressed in hoodies, we're dressed, both sets dressed the same way, me on my own, maybe one other person, and 3 to 4 of them, people are going to be more afraid of me and whoever I'm with, or even if I'm on my own. And that's because of how we've been portrayed, we've been perceived as well as black people, especially black males. So the struggles really are not the same. The systemic injustices are also not the same as well. In certain entities like, say, let's say supermarket retail, it's a case of like people of Asian descent, like Sri Lankans, Indians, Pakistanis, of that area and that ilk, they still do have a glass ceiling in companies like, say, Sainsbury's, for instance, but that glass ceiling is a lot higher than for someone of color like me, to be perfectly honest. So it's one of them, was the struggles are different. So remember, we can't lump everybody into the same category, and black lives do matter, but the fact is, yes, all lives should matter, but the key word there is should. All lives should matter. But when you denounce Black Lives Matter by saying all lives matter, which is what you're doing, you're denouncing the Black Lives Matter movement, you're basically saying that, oh, well, why are you complaining? You're already equal, when we're not. So it's one of them ones like, there is so much I could go through, but I don't want to keep you here for too long. But the fact of the matter is, this now becomes part of the long haul. And when you're in something for the long haul, you really separate the wheat from the chaff. You separate those who are truly down for the cause to those who just pay lip service. And for me, we don't need those who are just lip service, because at the end of the day, you're a dime a dozen. So if you're truly down for the movement, you got to be down for it each and every day, 24/7. I have been Straight Shootin LJA. Comment section is down below. Well, no, not down there, down below. But it's one of them ones, I want to hear your views as well. Comment section, let me know. Take it easy, peeps, and thank you for your time.